Hi, Aquarius. Welcome to your reading with me, Cindy. Aquarius, we are doing fairies this week. We're going to do Brian Froud's fairy deck. I already pulled out a fairy card for you, and I'm combining it with the Wisdom of the House of Night Oracle deck this week. And you have a really powerful energy coming forward. It's all pointing towards the future. Now, you got the fairies of the future. I can't show you the card. There's a lot of beautiful nudity on it, but not allowed to be seen. You have the fairies of the future, and you have the summon card. And the summon card talks about like how much power here you have within yourself to bring what it is that you want into your life, right? Like you can bring these things, right? So summoning future, but future fairies. Fairies of the future. There's sort of like a double meaning in this to me for you. The first meaning that I get from this is that there is some sort of fairy magic that is changing around you. There is, I guess, let's say maybe if these are guides for some of you, like literally you have new fairy guides that are coming in. If you don't connect with the idea of fairies, even just I want to say the energy of mischief, abundance, creation is switching and changing around you. Now, the fairies of the future, it's hard to see. I don't know what I can show here. I really can't. But anyways, I'll just describe it to you. There's a fairy, and she's walking very gracefully forward, but she's looking down at this old guy fairy, and he's pointing her towards the future. He's pointing her forward. So as she walks, she may not know why she's doing what she's doing, but she's also taking the practical steps to get to her future. So when we say right, that card talks about you taking practical steps, going in the direction that you should be going in. Maybe it doesn't make sense. I feel like I don't know why I'm going in this direction. But this seems to be the direction that God is pointing me towards. Doesn't make any sense. And a lot of times, too, you could question that enough times where you might be like, no, this is what I'm supposed to do. And you do that, and it kind of fails, and it stutters, or, yeah, and you're like, I don't know what to do now because I thought that I should do that. And I was like, well, then you come back to something. There's something here that I feel like the universe, your angels, guide is sort of pointing you towards. May not make sense to you why you're going in that direction or why you should make some sort of effort to it. But there is some sort of practical step that you could take right now that is leading you towards a future. Now, here's the other thing. Because you're summoning, you are also, as you're walking forward, your future is coming towards you. So you're working in tandem and cooperation with whatever your future is right now. There's a lot of threes here. Fairies of the Future is card number 33, and Summon is card number 13. So you have 3, 3, 3, and the 1. Here's the other interesting thing. You have the Oakman at the bottom. I love it. Did you have the old Oakman at the bottom there? It was the only one in the upright. Now, you have choices here. Important choices were made in the past. This might have also been from a point where you felt very wise. You knew a lot about what was going on around you. You understood the environment you were in. You kind of had a good ability to foresee how things could change or develop if you did this or that. Like there's a lot of wisdom that was present when you were making choices in the past here. So that's why I also feel like as you're walking forward, maybe it doesn't make sense. Maybe it feels like but it's actually very much like a Fool and a Magician energy with these two cards. Walking forward into a future here, but it's also a future, not even just a future. I think actually the getting there is the energy, is the circumstance where you feel that you have less knowledge than maybe you did before in your past. But the Summon card really does talk about like how much power you have within you right now. You have an enormous amount of manifestation power right now at this time. Now, that doesn't mean that you're going to manifest things like that within a few seconds you will have, or a few minutes, or even a few days. You'll have exactly it is what you want. I think you are going to get whatever it is that you want, that you would like to have in your life. But there's some practical things that need to be taken into consideration here. And it's a combination, right? It's taking these practical steps, but it's also trusting your intuition. And I feel like there's times where you may distrust what you're being shown or what you're thinking the path or the way is, and that you will fall back into an old habit, or you will go in a direction and start doing something else. You're going regardless of how you get there, you're going there. So, right? Some of you may stumble a little bit, some of you might be going on a very direct course, but you're getting there. So let's tarot it. Fairies of the future for Aquarius. Oh, the Hierophant. Being very responsible. Being very responsible. An obligation. Is there an obligation that you are currently working through as well? You're taking steps to build, okay. It's kind of coming through to me here that you are involved in some type of tradition. You might be stepping out of that. But in the same breath, there's an obligation to uphold it to some extent in the energy that you are right now, which might also be why it doesn't make sense to go in this direction, or it doesn't make sense that this is the direction that I'm supposed to go in, or that this is where I'm going to end up. You could find that there are a lot of things around you in the physical that don't correspond or represent how you visualize yourself in the future. I also feel like a real holistic sense from this Hierophant. I mean, she's taken really like all of the natural elements around us and put them into their own little container here so that they can be sort of categorized. It's giving me actually, this card gives me a little bit more of, well, maybe it is. I mean, it's a Taurus card. And you can see like Taurus is I have, and she does. She has everything that anybody could possibly want, but she also knows how to put all of these different elements together to maybe cure an ailment here that one ingredient wouldn't cure. So it is a knowledge about what you have. It's a knowledge about what you have, but the categorizing of it to me is a very Virgo energy. It's very grounded. This is a very, very grounded and logical energy. And maybe that's part of what is the discomfort or the possible discomfort for you as you move forward. Because being air energy, I want to say that's a sense of things moving quickly. It's a sense of having fast and rational thinking that can produce fast and rational action into a future, like making immediate change. This is a very, very different energy for air. Not to say that you shouldn't use it though. Like we should be able to use any of these elements, especially if you're working towards your Empress or your Emperor status. It is being able to work with any of these energies when they are present for us and when we're in a cycle that asks us to dip into something different here. I feel like that is part of what is going on. Categorize is very Virgo, and Taurus energy is very strong for you right now. I don't know if there's something going on with any of the planetary placements, but it's, yes, categorize. I don't know, maybe even like categorize things around your house or something like that, or categorize, I don't know. These are physical. They're really coming across as physical things, but it is also being able to help, like it's helping others. There's things that you have here, or there's some sort of knowledge that you've acquired that can help others, and understanding like what you have and where it is, and even being able to quickly access it. If you take this into the future, maybe this is part of what you're taking into the future with you. Could be a pattern, or a routine, or some sort of way of helping others here. Some of you may be even like, maybe some of you are studying something that has to do with holistic healing. It could have something to do with pharmaceuticals. It could have something to do with, I want to say like aromatherapy. Anything where there are natural elements. I know the pharmaceutical could also talk about man-made elements, so maybe but anyways, natural elements that all have their own purpose, and combining them, even know when to utilize an element or introduce an element at a specific time. You know, like sometimes, like they might say, okay, you're going to take this tea first thing in the morning before you have anything to eat. So that is very specific about not just that you have it, but how you use it. Oh, and then you're gonna soak these mushrooms and eat them somehow in the evening. You want to eat them towards the end of the day. They're going to help to relax you, right? Like that's also interesting. It's almost like the energy around you is not just about what it is, but it is how and when you use it. How and when you use it. And this is transporting you into the future. So what do you get with the summon card? The Eight of Swords. No, you don't even see it. You don't even see it. You're summoning. You're summoning. You could be summoning someone that doesn't even see you. You're summoning a future that you can't even comprehend. You're summoning a future that you can't even comprehend. There could be some sort of study here that's taken. Now, it's interesting because this is taking us into the swords. There's a lot of books here that she's been studying, and it's almost, oh, how interesting. Look at all of the knowledge, right? Like all of the knowledge and all of the different elements. I believe here we have like zodiacs, and we have planetary, both zodiac symbols. Oh no, that goes beyond that. I don't even know what all those symbols are. They're not just planetary or elemental. There's something more there. Okay, this is taking me back to that conversation that I had with you earlier, that where you came from, there was wisdom. Where you came from, there was a known wisdom and an experience, which is also the Hierophant. Like really grounded and understanding what you have and what can be done with it and when you should use it. Are you possibly in a point in time here where you are bringing things towards you and they may not make sense individually or on their own or even like right now? But once you start putting them all together, there's going to be some type of a meaning. Because that's just, it's almost like the first time you would have dipped into this energy before you got it to this level. Like in some area of your life here where you first walked down a path or a road that you were unfamiliar with, and there was sort of things along the way that you were collecting, and maybe things that you tried and didn't work out, and you had some type of small experience around it, or you had leftover thread from a knitting thing or something that you were taking and it never went anywhere. But then it's almost like later on, all these things come together and they made you have a very grounded, holistic ability to do something. Because you're in the process right now of summoning a new beginning that sort of started like that at some point, but this is different. I'm going to get more on that Eight of Swords. It's funny how I pick up the cards. I should just hold the cards. I do believe that there are going to be maybe even people. I think these are people and things. May even be some small instances where, you know, random things occur and you get a little bit of experience in something. You're like, well, that was weird. I learned something there, didn't I? Like that. You're getting a lot of those right now. And they might just seem like a whole bunch of like elements that don't have anything to do with each other and they don't make any sense to you. It's like just keep collecting this and trust the process. Again, I really want to show her. Do you see how she's looking down at this guy? She's looking down at him. I'm sorry, I refuse to mark up my Brian Froud deck. I'm not gonna do it. Do you see? She's looking down at where he's pointing, and she's doing it gracefully. She's like holding up her dress or whatever, and then she also has something that she's carrying with her, and she's like, okay, I'm going this way. See, that's the other part. Like, I feel like in the same breath, you are walking towards a future, but there's also something from a future coming towards you. But I do feel like part of the future that's coming towards you is coming towards you now, like a tap that drips. And these drips may not make sense to you as they are currently. Like, what do all these things mean? Where am I supposed to go? What am I supposed to do with this? The Eight of Swords. The King of Wands. Let's do 3. The World. And the Page of Swords. Yes. Oh, okay. You're somehow going from a period here of feeling like very much on top of the world. Feeling very much on top of the world. Very grounded and experienced and powerful and confident. That's all what I've seen about, like, all this here. I've already picked this up, right? We've already talked about it. In the past, there was a real strong, and I feel like that's part of the energy that you're in right now. And maybe there's some discomfort that could be felt by being asked to walk in a direction that may not make sense to you, or you may not understand how that's supposed to unfold for you, either in a positive way or, right? Like, don't put yourself in any harm's way or do anything foolish, right? So, but there is. I feel foolish, I don't know. Because this energy comes to an end. This King of Wands with the World. It could be somebody that you've been dealing with. It could be somebody who is quite a dynamic and noticeable leader. Like, this is somebody who walks into a room and everybody takes notice. There's somebody that's usually will come in and be brave enough to do things that other people won't. Brave enough to put their neck out there. But that comes to an end. I mean, this could be you too. And then we got, like, that this is watching and learning with the Page, right? Being open-minded to what's happening around you. Oh, it's calling in a fairy. Look at this. Okay, I'm also getting the message, like, you're walking through a very interesting period here, where I think there's a change between what you've known and where you're headed towards. And the path might seem a little bit strange and unfamiliar. But this is also giving me the sign, like, when you ask for something, you will receive it. Like, you'll get exactly what you need when you kind of need it. So I'm seeing somebody, it's kind of funny, I've just sort of been binge watching Amazing Race Canada. I just finished it, I don't know, season 10 or 11, whatever the hell it was. But I watched all the seasons, it's kind of fun. And it's kind of interesting, right? Like, when you watch, like, I think they have Amazing Race in other countries too, so I don't think I'm talking about something that you'd be unfamiliar with. But it's kind of like when you come up to a challenge, and there's all these elements, and you're like, what do you do with these? Like, what are these things? I feel like that's where you are. Like, I feel like there's something about your life or the cycle that you're in where that's kind of like where you are. Like, what do I do with these things? Why is God giving me these? And what happens now? And then if you just kind of like play, sometimes when you overthink it, because you have an idea, okay, I think it's going to be this, so you're forcing it into something that it can't be. But if you just sort of, sometimes too, if you just drop these pieces on the table, and then it's like, oh my God, they go like this and that, and then suddenly you see something. So right, like that's being open-minded. Also reminding me of when my girlfriend and I took our kids to an escape room. They were like, at the time, how old were they? Frig. Was my son 13? 13 or 12. And her son was like a year younger. Her daughter was a couple years younger. And they got the fuck out. They got out of the rooms. We were the only thing we had to do was make sure they were kind of being fair with each other. That they wanted to each one, and just kind of like, that was it. That was it. And they fought us out of those rooms. And my girlfriend and I, who are like late 40s, early 50s, were like overthinking everything and couldn't get the fuck out of the room. All we had to do was like sort of like referee them. That was it. And it's kind of like coming out of this fixed mindset and having a much more open perspective and realizing that you'll get what you need when you're there. What you need, if you're there, then look around. What you need is here. That's what you got going on right now. But it is, because it's kind of funny. This is almost like the feeling of somebody who knew everything, had, whatever you did, the outcome, you understood your outcomes. I feel like you don't understand your outcomes right now, but that's okay, because you are going towards a really interesting adjustment and change, for sure. Okay, I just took a second there because I was getting a bit of like a thought and a vision here. Because I was already sort of projecting, I'm going to go do the extended in my mind, and something started playing through. So I wanted to take a second to see what that was. So I'm literally seeing, like, as you're walking on the path of life here, there's going to be people, specifically in this one, I feel like it is people, it might be resources too sometimes for some of you. You're walking along the path and someone is coming. What's the next thing coming towards you? What is the next thing coming towards you? And what will either this person, or like it could be, when I say a resource, it literally could be something that's coming into your life. You're like, I don't know what to do with this. What the fuck is this? Or an opportunity to experience something. What is the next thing or person on your path, and what do they have to offer to you? That's what I'm going to go do in the extended. There's 2 options in the description below for the extended. If you'd like to follow me there, thank you so much, Aquarians. Until next time, be gentle with yourselves. Bye.